All right.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Michal.
Hi, guys.
Hello, hello. Welcome. A small group tonight.
How many pages did you put in each signature?
I am using multimedia paper, so I'm using 4 sheets of paper.
Okay, and you said
Yeah, folded in half.
4 sheets, 4 signatures?
Yeah, so it's 16 papers total.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go over all that with everybody, assuming you all decided on the size of your covers and then cut your papers down to fit. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. It's only 3 people here.
Did you make the covers last week?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll have to make my cover another time.
Well, the video is posted and you did it with me, so
Right.
you know what we're doing.
Here's the other one that I did with you. But I'll make more pages today.
All right.
Can we see the back of that again? That was pretty.
Mom, hold it up. Bring it in closer. Closer, closer.
Nice.
You're all fuzzy.
There it is.
Yep. That's pretty.
That's the back.
Yeah.
And that's the front.
It's very Van Gogh-ish.
It is. I like that.
Or
Swirly swirls. I still have work to do on my cover. I didn't really do anything since last week, except today I glued another folder that kind of matched my colors onto the inside to create the lining and thicken it up a little bit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to know how to do is a pocket for the inside cover.
Okay. Well, we could do that too.
Okay.
So
you put more of the folder in here?
I glued another folder to the inside of this folder in a color that goes. I had a folder that goes with my design overall. So I just glued it to the other side. So I have a lining.
But you did it before you put the pages in, before you sewed them in.
I haven't done any. We're doing the pages tonight. So this is my ready cover. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a thought. If I would like to do that, I have to do it with the pages in it. I would have to figure out a way to do that.
I would not do that because then your covers will be heavier than your spine.
Okay.
So I would do all of that in advance.
Okay.
But, you know, make your cover, prepare your cover, do everything you need to your cover, except, you know, if you want to decorate it more after on the outside, that's fine. But I would not adjust the overall weight once you've already assembled the book.
I would make another one then for that.
Yeah.
What could I use if I don't have a folder? Any cardboard at all?
If you don't have a folder, do you have cardstock?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you can take a big sheet of cardstock and make that your cover, but you would. I'm sorry, my tongue is not connecting to my brain. Oh God! You definitely can tell it's Thursday. Friday's coming, and the brain is just shutting down. I would glue 2 pieces of cardstock together to create a sturdy cover. But then you would have to wait for the whole thing to dry if you want to. You're not going to be able to do the whole thing tonight. Is basically what you're getting at. Yeah.
Because as you say, I have done it.
Yeah.
But this tonight is like just refreshing my mind with it.
Well, tonight, whoever shows up and whoever watches the video ultimately will be able to take the cover from last week and sew in the 4 signatures to complete the physical book.
Right.
Right.
Well,
So,
I think I'll just go as far as folding, measuring, and punching the holes, because I have the 16 sheets of paper here, and I'll just make another book, you know, afterwards.
okay. So,
All right.
Kelly, you have your cover from last week?
Yeah, I have my cover. I'm just cutting my signatures and getting that ready right now.
Okay,
I
cool.
am totally frazzled. We had parent teacher conferences until like super late last night. So, and then I just got home from work and then I had to go take care of my mom. And so I'm a frazzled mess right now, but I'm getting there.
I can completely relate. Hi, Sandra. So we'll all just help each other along.
You talk about your brain not being connected. I went for my physical today with my primary doctor this afternoon, and legally she had to ask me the following questions. Have you fallen recently? Are you afraid you're going to fall? Are you steady on your feet? And all kinds of other questions like that.
Yeah.
And then she asked me to remember 3 words, and she went out of the room. And 20 minutes later, after she came back and we were on to other things, she asked me to tell her the words.
Did you remember that?
Yes, she gave me pen, book, and dog. So after she walked out of the room, I fixed into my mind, I am drawing a dog in my book with a pen.
Oh, good girl.
And when she came back and she asked me for the words, I gave her the whole sentence and she cracked up.
Whatever stupid tricks help to get our brains to function is what we have to do. Hi, Kathy. I don't know if you heard me before. Hi, Michelle. Michal, I'm sorry. And Sandra, you heard me, right?
Hi
Hi.
guys.
Hello. If you weren't with us last week, I don't know if you guys watched the video from the cover making process that we had last week. We made covers for our handmade books using regular old file folders that many of us have laying around, whether it's at home or in class. And this was the cover that I cut down and made. It's not completely decorated, but it will be functional. And then today I lined the inside cover with an extra file folder just to add some thickness to it. So I am ready to go. I cut this down. I kind of like the size. It's kind of an in-between formal size. I think it was 7 by 9 or 9 by 7, whichever way you look at it. So then I'm also using mixed media paper, which is a little on the thicker side. I cut down 16 sheets, the correct size. If you are cutting paper down to fit inside whatever cover size you chose, you should come down about 1/4 of an inch on your paper size, just to make sure it sits inside the cover and doesn't hang outside the cover. Unless, of course, you don't care, and that's completely up to you. So now what we're going to do is hand fold each paper in half, one at a time, and use our handy dandy bone folder to super crisp up that crease. I tell all my kids at school, make it super crispy, extra crispy, because the better the fold, the better it will stay where you want it to go. So I'm going to switch my camera onto my document camera so that we can all see what I'm doing. I'm going
I have a question, Steph, a question.
hold on. I'm going to spotlight my screen. All right. Can everybody see
That's not what you asked me.
I do it. Everybody can see my table, yes?
The bottom corner is cut off of the paper.
The what?
The bottom corner of your paper is cut off. I don't know if that matters.
Only if it makes you crazy.
No, it doesn't bother me.
Okay. So
Can I
what
ask you a
what was
question, please?
what was your question?
Is there a front or a back to this paper?
To my paper?
To all of these papers from
It depends on the paper. I have no way of knowing what you're using.
from a drawing pad.
I have no way of knowing what you're using. You got to feel it, and it doesn't matter because we're folding it and you're using all sides of it anyway.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. It's just
Okie dokie. Glad I could help. Okay, so I'm taking each piece of paper now and I'm folding it exactly in half. And then once they're all folded, we're going to make like 4 bundles called signatures and put 4 sheets together, one inside the other times 4 to create the 4 signatures. And I'll do that now. I guess we're all working together. Who just came in? Hi, Susan. Welcome.
Hi,
Are you going to be watching or joining along with us?
I'm trying to decide, but I'm gonna see what you guys are up to.
Okay. So we're just working on the pages and our signatures to stitch into our book covers today.
Gotcha.
We're making our folds extra crispy. Time I say that, I think of chicken.
I like this bone folder.
Right. I just realized that I can't remember if I put beads on today's supply list.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You put assorted beads and embellishments.
Yeah. Okay. This part always feels like it takes forever. The folding, I don't know why.
Because we're doing them one at a time.
Yep.
Notice how quiet it is.
Well, everybody's muted except except for us.
Oh,
Yep. Yep. I hope you all had a good week from last week. It was a nice 3-day weekend.
We don't get a 3-day weekend up here.
Where is up here?
So remember, I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, but I teach in northern Wisconsin. So,
Oh, right.
yep,
So
so
you
no,
don't get un-Columbus, I'm gonna call it un-Columbus Day or non-Columbus Day. Oh, wow. Okay.
nothing,
You guys never got that?
no.
Huh. That's interesting. Why is that not a Michigan holiday?
I think in bigger cities around Michigan, Wisconsin, you would
Uh-huh.
get it possibly, but not up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm
Which,
sorry. I won't brag about my 3-day weekend.
it's really weird too, especially because it's Indigenous Peoples Day now, considering in the area that I live in, there's a lot of Indigenous people. So you would think rather that we would have it, but we don't.
Well, maybe it's because of the indigenous people that they're not celebrating
I don't know.
because, he's not so fantastic anymore now.
Those two holidays are like a contradiction in terms.
Well, it's now not called Columbus Day anymore. It's called Indigenous Peoples Day. Remember, was it last year or the year before when they went around the country tearing down all the statues of bad men?
I think it was before that.
No, it was recent.
Yeah, but not, I don't think it was last year. I think it was a little earlier.
All right,
Our,
Steffi.
our district does acknowledgements of the land now.
Oh, yes, everybody's doing that now. Definitely is a good thing.
Steph, I forgot my all at work. What else can I use?
Fingernail.
You have a really fat needle and a cork.
I can find that.
Okay, cool.
How about a ruler?
Instead of an awl? No.
Oh, I thought she, don't mind me. I thought she said bone folder
Nope, nope.
instead of a bone folder.
If you have what about a skewer? Maybe a really pointy skewer.
I think I'll be able to get through with my needle.
Okay.
I just need to figure out what I'm pushing into now.
If you have a catalog or a big fat book that you don't care if you poke holes into, I'm gonna show everybody that because I have the cradle and the catalog, so I'll demonstrate for anyone that has anything. Super easy. And that's exactly why I have to have double everything for the classroom and at home, because I can't keep track of what I need at home and what I need at school. Starting to feel like I miscounted. Oh no, you know what I did?
What did you do?
I counted 16 large papers before I cut them down to size. So I just made double the size papers, double signature. Because I cut the large paper in half.
So you have 32 pieces of paper?
Yes, I have 32 pieces now. So now I have to make an extra book in my free time.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, darn. Darn. Well, it's funny because when I cut down my cover for tonight, I ended up with this little piece, which is going to be a smaller book. Now I'll just use my double extra pages to put in my smaller extra book.
There you go.
Nothing is ever wasted. Okay.
I have several small size books that I cut and got ready a couple of months ago.
Smaller
Yes.
size books. Oh, okay.
And it's
3, 4.
6 inches by 4.5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So here are my 4 signatures. What everybody should do, and of course, I don't have a pencil. Oh, everything but a pencil. Hold on. Okay, so very, very lightly, I highly recommend putting a tiny little capital letter T in the top corner of your signature so that you know which way to hold it when you're punching. Because you want all of your holes to align, and you don't want to accidentally turn your signature upside down and then it doesn't sit in the same holes as everything else. I learned that from Allie Manning online.
I learned that the hard way.
She is a genius. Okay. So now what we want to do is we're going to take a scrap piece of paper and make sure that it fits almost to the same size as your pages. Okay. Now you can use, this is going to be for measuring your holes, just so that everything is in the same place. You can use a ruler or you can just eyeball. Is everybody ready for this step, or do you need me to wait?
I need another second or two
Okay.
putting my signatures together.
I need to see everybody that's here. So close, and I'm going to go to. Yeah, okay.
One.
All right. So what you want to do, actually, you know what, fold this piece of paper in half. Like this. And then in that crease is where we're going to put our marks. Okay, you can see my crease. So
Is that paper the height of the signature, but not the
it's
full
a
width?
little bit less, which is fine.
But it's not as wide as the signature either.
The width doesn't matter. It has to be working with the height.
Right, okay.
Okay, so what you want to do is find the center. However you want to do it. I'm folding it in half, just putting a tiny little crease and then putting a dot. Okay. And then I'm going to put a dot about a ½ inch down from the top edge of the paper, and also ½ inch up from the bottom of the paper. So now I have 3 dots. I don't know if everybody can see that.
Where was the first one?
In the middle.
In the middle, okay.
You want one in the middle and one about ½ inch in from each end.
Okay.
Okay, this is how it's going to go in the book. And then you want to put 2 more dots, dividing the 2 halves. Approximately, you could, like I said, either eyeball it or you can use a ruler, whatever is easiest for you. You want to end up with an odd number of dots or the stitch that we're gonna do is called the pamphlet stitch. So here are my evenly-ish spaced dots. Give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready for the next step. Okay, Kelly's good. Susan's good. Can't see Mahal. Okay, Sandra's good. Mom, you're good. Okay, so if you're using a catalog or a big fat book, what I do is I just open it into the middle. Okay. Then I'm going to take one of my signatures, make sure everything is lined up, all the pages. I forgot to tell you guys also, it's probably might make it easier. Probably might. My English, oh God. Thursday. Okay. So I'm going to take my paper with my dots and center it top to bottom inside my signature. And then if you guys have clips, you can use clips unless you have super control. Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys to get the clips. You don't have to have them, but sometimes it helps. Okay. So then you're going to put the fold of your signature into the open spine of the catalog. And then you're going to take your awl and puncture right through your folded dots on your scrap paper, through the signature into the spine of the catalog. Very satisfying little punching sound. I love that. Just punch, punch, punch. So that all of your holes are now punched and you can see them on the outside of your signature. Okay, you can do this exactly the same. I don't know if any of you have a punching cradle. This is what mine looks like. And you can put it into that spine and it works exactly the same way as you just did it in the catalog. Catalog is a lot cheaper and works exactly the same way. In school, I have my kids use old encyclopedias, just open the book and punch right into it. So, so you're going to do this 4 times into each of your signatures. Make sure that you're doing them all in the same direction and they all have that T on top and all of your pages are completely lined up, and center your template top to bottom. So it's exactly the same. Flip it if you need to. Don't clip it if you don't need to. And punch, punch, punch. Am I just weird, or do you guys find that punching satisfying too?
It's very satisfying.
Yes.
Here is my cradle that was made in Barcelona.
So it has a Spanish accent?
I guess it does. I think yours is sturdier. But we shall see.
I think I got mine on Etsy, but I don't remember where in the Etsy world. I don't know where my my seller was in the Etsy world. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Okay. One more.
This is the first time I'm using this.
What, your cradle?
Yeah.
All right, all of my signatures are done. The next part is going to be a little tricky, so you guys have to let me know when you're ready for it. Okay. Did I say ruler too on the supply list?
Yes.
So, okay.
One down.
One down.
I did one.
Yeah.
Oh, these holes are huge.
Well, are you using a really huge awl? Mine is not
No.
that. Mine is not that thick.
It's what came with the cradle.
Okay.
Maybe I pushed it in too far.
Kelly, how's your needle working?
It's fine. It's taking a little extra time because I have to poke with the really pointy thin needle, and then I have to poke a second time with a little bit thicker one to get through. But
Okay.
it's working.
Okay. Just let me know, guys, when you're ready for the next part.
So when I have my students do this, they're middle schoolers. I give them just a regular stylus, like tracing stylus, and it's got a
Oh,
little
that's a good
round
idea.
end, so it's not as sharp. They get a little grumpy. I can't cut anything with it. You're not supposed to.
It's also not that deadly a weapon. Everything is a weapon now. Even a ruler is a weapon. Oh, God. I think I've put the fear of God into my students this week when we were using rulers to teach the kids perspective and cubes, drawing cubes. And I have plastic rulers that are flexible. So of course they want to like flip them through the air and wave them back and forth and bend them in their hands till they practically snap. So I went crazy on them and I told them if I see any rulers in the air and not on the table, I'm collecting the whole class and we're stopping working. And of course, you have the 2 or 3 kids who cannot help themselves and they have to pick them up and play with them because they can't sit still. So yesterday I collected all the rulers in 2 classes and I made them sit there and do nothing. So today, if anybody did that, they got the death stare and they dropped the rulers very quickly. Hopefully my message got through.
I'm good if you're waiting on me.
Okay, so that was Kelly.
Yep.
Sandra, are you good? Oh, you disappeared. Susan, you working with us? You ready? Okay. Mudda?
I'm doing the last signature, poking the holes now.
Okay. All right. So now,
Yep, I'm good.
okay, cool. So I don't remember if I mentioned this last week or if you guys are all brilliant and you already know this. Your cover is the size of your book, but you should have added like 3/4 of an inch for the spine to leave room for your 4 signatures stacked. Okay, so here's my spine, 3/4 of an inch across. So that's going to allow for the 4 signatures to stack one over each other, and without causing weird things to happen to your cover and make your cover shorter. Okay.
3/4 of an inch.
I have 3/4 of an inch. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to mark off, because you're going to punch the same holes, but we have to mark them down. So what I first recommend is taking your scrap paper with your holes and marking that paper centered top to bottom. So put a mark at the top, put a mark at the bottom with something that you can see, just so that we have a way to position the paper 4 times, because we have to punch the holes 4 times. Am I making sense? Okay. So then I love the see-through rulers with the grids on them. This is my quilting ruler. So I'm going to draw a line across the spine, just so I have a place to line up my paper to, top and bottom. Okay. And let me see if I can bring this down closer. Okay. Then, because this is 3/4 of an inch, you're going to want to put 1 row of holes down each edge of the spine, because we want four lines that we're going to punch on and line things up to. So then I'm going to go in in 1/4 of an inch, and then in 1/4 of an inch. So you should be having 4, I don't know if you could see it in the light shining, 4 marks perpendicular to the horizontal line, so that we know these are 4 rows that we're going to be stitching on and punching. And do the same thing on the bottom line that we just made as well.
1/4 of an inch in from the fold.
Yes, so you're putting a mark on each fold, and then you're going in 1/4 of an inch from the right fold and 1/4 of an inch from the left fold. So that's 3/4, but four hole punches.
Oh, you start with a mark on the fold.
Yes, so you're doing a punch on each fold, and then 2 in between that, and they're all 1/4 inch spaced apart.
Okay, because that's what I did on the book from the one
Yes.
we did.
So you're
Yeah.
doing that across the top and on the bottom. Okay.
Yep.
And then what I would do is then connect those marks and draw a line down with your pencil, so that you have a way to align your template with the hole punches and everything lines up perfectly. Am I being clear? I'm not sure if I'm clear in my head, but that doesn't mean it's coming out that way on the other, translating properly. No, yes, maybe.
I can't give you an opinion because I've already done it, so I know, I understand. So
Kelly, you
somebody else
got
will have
this?
to-
Yeah, I'm good. I've done some bookbinding too, so I'm all right now still.
Okay, cool. And Sandra knows what she's doing. Susan, you good? All righty. Michal, I hope you're with us. Sandra, that was funny.
I am. I'm good.
Okay. So, do you need me to wait for you for the next step or keep going? I feel like I'm in the classroom with crickets.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. So then here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna take your paper with the hole punch marks that we made, and you're gonna line it up on one crease to start. And if you have tape and you want to tape it down, you can do that. If you want to use your clips, you could do that. And then again, you can punch right into the catalog if you don't, or your book if you don't care what happens on the other end. So now you're just going to punch through the same template that you punched your pages and go right through the cover all the way down. And then you're going to move this over onto each line. So you're doing this 4 times for each signature that we're going to stitch. I hope that was clear. And if your holes are too tiny, once you take it out, you can always just go back in and make them a little bigger. Just don't make them too big.
How far down from the top? How much room did you leave for the
I
cover to
took
be?
my paper and I centered it top to bottom inside the cover. And then I drew that guideline horizontally top and bottom so that it was in the
Yeah,
same.
I think what I'm asking you is how much
It's not a
bigger is the
specific
cover?
amount.
It could be a 1/4 inch on the top and a 1/4 inch on the bottom, for example. You want the cover bigger than the signatures, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm doing my next row. What you don't want is your hole close to the edge of the cover.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually, when you made the cover, you made it bigger than the signature sheets are. Or
Yes, I
were
said
going
that.
to be
Or I cut the signature sheets shorter than the cover.
last week. I mean, that's what you told everybody last week, right?
No, I did not say that, actually.
Oh,
Or maybe I did. I don't remember what I said.
maybe one of the other people does,
Well, if you watch the video,
which I haven't had a chance to yet.
yeah,
But
maybe I did say it and it's in the video. I mean, so I don't mind if the pages are flush. You just don't want the pages bigger than the cover.
no.
That would look weird.
Yes.
Okay. On my last one. I'm all punched out. Wow, and they came out remarkably well aligned. I'm in shock. Usually there's one that'll, jump up a little bit or be a little higher or lower, but this is good. See, my brain isn't working, but my hands know what they're doing. And scissors. Right? Let me know when you guys are ready for the next step.
I'm good.
Okay. So this is what the waxed thread looks like. It's kind of thicker and looks sticky. It's a little bit sticky. There we go, under the camera. And I have a large eye needle. You can see that. And for each, we're going to sew each signature separately. And I pull 1, 2, 3 times the length of string as the height of the book for each signature, just to make sure that there's enough, just in case. And then I'm going to thread my needle, but we're not going to put a knot on the end. And we're not tying the thread to the needle. Don't do that. Okay. Everybody with me?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the row all the way to my left so that I can work toward my right. And I'm going to start in the center of the signature. Okay. And I'm going to go from the inside of the book through the signature, through the cover, and I'm going to come out in the middle. Now, here is where you kind of have to have a plan as far as what you're doing. If you're beading, you need to decide if you're beading in each section or every other, or the 2 tops or the 2 middles, whatever it is that you're doing. Here I did the 2 middle ones. And here it's the bigger book and I did the 2 sections in. But you need to bead as you're stitching. So you need to have a plan. Okay. If you just want to practice your stitching first and not bead, that's fine. If you want to bead and you want to have it, we have 1, 2, 3 sections up and 3 sections down. So if you want beads in every section, then you got to start stitching now right away. Am I making sense?
Yep.
Okay. So I think I'm going to do I'm going to do the next section. I'm going to bead the middle one. I'm going to leave the 2 center sections alone. So if you're going to not bead, you want to have a tail on the inside right now. And then you're going to come out from the middle and then go back in and come up inside the book. I've been moving it all over the place, so nothing's lined up anymore.
Steph, did you move one up or one down?
It doesn't matter because it's going to be the same thing either way you go. So, and I'll walk you through that. super easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's super easy.
Where do you go down? What did you say?
Okay, you're gonna go in from the middle,
The outside.
okay, and then come out from the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna go back in either direction. Again, it doesn't matter. Go back to the next, in through the next hole into the center again of your book. Okay,
Yep.
now what you are gonna end up doing is going back. So basically you're doing an up, down, up, down. So you're coming out again. Hold on, I gotta line up my holes. Okay, so here I am. So I have one long stitch here, and then I have a gap. Okay, you guys see that? This gap is going to get closed up. So once we're going to basically come up to the top and then come back around and then come back to the center. We're going to end in the center of the book. And there will be no gaps either on the outside or the inside by the time we're done. So if this is the place that I want to bead, I'm going to do that on my way back, not this time around. So from the outside now, I'm going back to my left, whichever direction you're going, and end up back in the inside of the book here. So you can see this is where I started. I went down, I came up, I went down again, and then I came back in from the outside. Okay. And now I'm going to close that gap and go down again to close that gap. And I'm going to come up on the outside, and this is where I'm going to put my beads.
Remind everybody not to sew through the thread going up or down.
Yeah, don't put your needle through the middle of the thread because then you won't be able to pull it. Which, thank you very much, I just did that. As you said. Okay, so now I'm going to play with my beads and pick out what I want. And if your beads are too small for your needle, you could just take the needle off while you're beading and then put the needle back on to finish stitching. Is anybody beading or am I the only crazy person?
I'm watching you.
What?
I'm watching you.
You're watching.
I'm not doing it now because I don't have a cover for these signatures.
Oh, that's right.
I'm beading.
You're beading? Okay, good. I thought these holes would be big enough to not give me a problem. Yeah, okay. Might have to, you might have to keep trimming down the thread to keep it from fraying. Oh, that hole's too small. Goes a lot faster if you're not beading. But it's pretty with the beads, so tough choices. Okay, I'm getting frustrated. Don't be difficult, please. There we go. And the red. Okay. I don't even know if I like these beads. Is it worth the aggravation right now? I don't know. I'll leave it for now. I'll do the pink. Totally frayed. Like mine hem. Go. So I've put on 5 beads. I'm gonna leave it at that. Now where did my needle go? There it is. Okay. So now to close up that gap, come back into the middle. Go through the center hole, back outside. And then close that gap back into the inside of the book. And go back down to the outside. Okay. So this is what it should look like right now. And then I'm coming back to the inside of the book from the outside. Okay. And now I'm going to go back down and end up on the outside. And I want to put beads here now to match the other end of it before I close up the signature. So, nope. Fine. I can do this. No. Good. Really frustrating that some beads have really nice open holes and others are not nice open holes. Okay, pink.
Are they all supposed to be the same?
Well, you would think so, but because some of them are handmade, you know, there's no two alike. These are the beads that I got at the fair 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I have my silver fish here in front of me.
Wait. To get the hang of it, it's do the first signature. Everything else is super easy.
I can't keep the sequence of the stitching where you go down and where you come up. I can't keep that in my head for some stupid reason.
Well, you could, I guess if you had to, you could start at the top instead of the middle. I just like my knot in the middle instead of on top.
Oh,
Or
me too.
But basically you're going up, down, up, down, up, down, and then going back the way you came and closing up the gaps. That's why you need an odd number of holes.
Right. I have it written down someplace. The first time I did it, and I just followed that. And it came out right.
I may only get one signature with beads because this is making me crazy right now.
Yeah, I didn't put any beads on the one from the one we did.
Okay. There's that one. Okay, I'm going to rethread my needle. And then I'm going to go back down into the next hole to close the gap. Okay. Is everybody at this point, or you all went on and did it on your own? We're all good? Okay. So what I generally do at this point, okay, I go under that center stitch so that I'm hooking the thread in there. And then I just kind of tie a knot with the tail from the beginning and the thread through the needle right now. And I do a double knot and then I trim it and that's it. And you do that for each signature. That is it. Super simple. And there's the first signature in the book, leaving room for the other 3 to come. And it's exactly the same. And look at that, nice and clean. And that's what its spine looks like right now. Oop, there it goes.
What does it say on your cover?
It says
Every-
everything. I pulled it out of a magazine because I liked it. I need to add more stuff to this, but I just liked it.
That's cute.
Okay, so now I'm going to do my next signature. So I'm going to pull 3 more lengths of string. 1, 2, 3. If you're not beading, it goes super fast. So I'm thinking of not beading. I'll just make the dangles afterwards. Oh, we'll see. Okay, so I'm going through the middle of my signature in the middle hole in the cover, leaving that tail and coming back inside. So everybody have the gist of this? Yay! Okay. Good. Here, here. 2 down. Woohoo! Making progress. Next. Everybody's so quiet, concentrating. Or you could all be having your own dance parties there and I would never know it. It's kind of like meditation. Repetitive movement. Over and over.
9.5. Okay. And 9.
Three down, 1 to go. One, 2, 3. Whoops, I forgot to string my beads. On it. So close. Let's see. Do red. And green. Wait. You can do this. You can do this. Go. Okay. 5 beads. Thread the needle. Last beads. Those 5 went nice and easily. Okay. All right. So my 4 signatures are done. You can see from the top. Well, that's weird. My cover is way bigger than my pages. Huh. Mine is
Goodness.
totally, yeah, look at this. Yeah. I took this is not, well, if I trim it, maybe I'll trim it. Oh, well. So this is the book. Now, if you wanted to add like cool little danglies or whatever, like charms or whatnot from the top, you just tie them on. If you wanted to add a button closure, you could put a button here and then string a elastic, or you could attach a Velcro closure. Closures are really fun to do. And if you wanted to do more decorating of your cover, you can. If you wanted to add a pocket, as I did, where's my pocket?
On the inside.
Yes, here's a pocket that I did in this cover. And here's another one that I did, pockets in here. I find that the best way to do, oh, I was looking for these stickers. The best way to do a pocket, or the most secure, clearly it is not this way because the folder broke. Whatever you're using, double-sided tape, a really good adhesive and double-sided tape will hold it better than the glue, because eventually the glue could dry out and become brittle, and then your pocket will fly off.
Do you fold the edges under on the pocket so that it's a little bit,
If you want the full size of the paper to be the full size of the pocket, then I would fold it under. If you don't mind losing the thickness of your double-sided tape on the inside, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure.
If you put double-sided tape on a piece of paper, right, then you're going to lose that thickness of the tape inside the pocket,
Okay,
unless you fold it under,
okay.
right?
Because I'm thinking,
What I did here, I folded it under, but as you could see, the folder was old and brittle, and it tore at the fold where I folded it under. However, this one that I did edge to edge, well, this is also, actually I wrapped it around. You're gonna have to play with it. It depends on your materials, you know, and the use, you know, how much use you're gonna be getting, because pockets tear. They just do.
well, I'm thinking that if you take a rectangle, let's say half the height of the book cover, and if you fold under like 1/4 of an inch on either side and fold up the bottom the same 1/4 of an inch to the inside, so you have 3 inside folded surfaces, and you put double-sided tape on those, then the whole top surface of the pocket is not attached to tape. It's
Well, that's what
Three.
I just showed you here. This is double-sided.
Okay,
This is double-sided, and I left two sides open, but it tore because the brittleness of the cardboard of the.
right. Well, I'm thinking that you double side tape 3 sides and just leave the top open.
Whatever it is, it's still subject to tear, depending on wear and tear and depending on the age and sturdiness of your material.
Okay,
Okay, unless you somehow secure the creases or the folds along those 3 sides, it's still eventually subject to tear. So
what's
you have
the double-sided tape to buy?
3M Gorilla.
Okay,
I like Gorilla, but whatever you can find, and they're all different. So you're gonna have to test them, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. So, oh God, this is not my best work, but it's finished. I can't believe, I don't know how I mismeasured.
Maybe you were talking when you were doing it.
No, I did this when I came home. I was all alone. But
I'm starting another cover. I don't have a folder, but I have that weight of cardboard here.
uh-huh.
So I'm gonna make it a new cover for these new signatures.
Okay. Maybe I will cut this down. Let me see how horrible this will be.
You're gonna lose that word.
Well, I'm not going to lose the whole thing. It
I
doesn't,
can think of another thing to do, but you probably would not want to do it.
I'm not taking it apart.
Yeah,
I'm not taking it apart. Ixnay on the taking apart a. No.
Yeah.
No, no, no. It's not, it's okay. I think we'll still be able to figure out what the word is. And it's just there, kind of like half a focal point. It's going to get covered up anyway. So let's see how bad that looks. You can still kind of figure out what it says.
I guess.
Not that horrible.
Where did you find that word?
I don't know. An old magazine that I tore apart before I threw it out. This is the kind of stuff that teaches you to not get so precious with every little thing. Mistakes happen, let it go. Let it go. It's okay. I think that's the hardest thing to get across to our students is that they're afraid to start because it's not going to be perfect. And then they're afraid to do anything because it's not going to be perfect. And then they say to me, well, look at yours. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, well, I've got about 40 years experience on you. So don't compare yours to mine. I started at one point also. We have to remind them everybody was a beginner at some point.
I have to remind myself of that even now.
Gosh. And not take our stuff so seriously, really. Like, so what if it's not perfect? Work around it. Make it more special by doing something else to it, you know? It's funny because a lot of the kids also don't realize that what you have in your mind when you start a project isn't necessarily where you're going to end. The project will dictate to you where it wants to go, and you just got to follow.
I always said that.
And you may end up in a very cool place that you never ever imagined you could end up with. So I think we each need to be reminded, even as professionals, that that's how it works sometimes.
All right, I've got mine together and I did my beading. So this is how my beads look.
Wait. Let me unspotlight myself so we can all share out. Okay, let's see. No, I don't want to stop recording. Nope. How do I unspotlight myself? Oh, remove spotlight. Duh. Okay. There we go. All right, let's spotlight Callie.
So what I wish I would have done is I did all my beads here and here, and I wish I
Uh-huh.
would have done like every other one. So first one, and then on the second string, I wish I would have beaded here and then
Like
back in.
alternated. Yeah.
So, but they
That
look
looks
okay.
great. This is not your first time.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
I've done bookbinding. So when I do it with my students and I have them bookbind their, like I haven't done for the past couple of years, but I used to have them bookbind their own sketchbooks.
Uh-huh.
With the pockets, one thing that was kind of cool to use for pockets was if any of your librarians, if they have those old library cards, like
Oh,
little,
yes.
those are pretty cool. I would have the kids, even sometimes I put a couple of those in the back of their page and their sketchbook, because then we could tuck in little things. They could tuck in a little mini color wheel, or they could tuck in little value scales, things like that, and they could have it all always with them in their sketchbook in those little tiny library pockets. So
I love little pockets, little envelopes, and little secret nooks and crannies and compartments. Yeah, that's really cool. Let me get off of my camera, and then anybody else? Here we go. All right, I'm back. Anybody else want to share?
Well, I can.
Okay, hang on. Michelle, let me spotlight you. There we go.
So it's been a really rough couple weeks. So I came into this with no supplies, cardstock, and I have dental floss.
Okay,
And smell very minty.
Minty's fresh.
I just have a sample so that I can go and do it for real.
Hey, you know something? For being completely unprepared, that's fabulous. And now you can actually go and decorate your cover and doodle all over it. And
Well, so because it's too small, Mother says life is full of learning and mistakes because my cover is not big enough.
well, that's kind of what happened with my pages inside my book, but it looks great. So now you got something to refer back to when you actually do it from the beginning. That's awesome. Sandra, did you want to share out? Okay, let's see. Replace. There we go. Hi.
All right, so I had to do a little bit more Mod Podge on mine, so it's got a weird, funky white glow to it. But I did a two-tone cover on the inside with colors, and they'll end up eventually matching my metallic paint that I'm going to finish it up with.
And you use black thread on the spine, right?
I did, and I wished I had some colors to put on it. Some different colors would have been really awesome, but all I had was black. So
that's fine.
It matched the black just well,
yeah,
so.
It matches the cover. And how did you do the multicolor inside? Did you just glue paper to the inside?
I did. So I did, one was just the back, and then the front one also goes for the spine, and that's the one I sewed through.
Right.
And I did the contact cement with it, because that really likes to make it stick really well.
Yeah, that stuff holds really well. That looks great. And all of your pages are nicely aligned. You know, they're all even across the top, which is perfect.
That's what I was doing, running over to the paper cutter. So I'm like, nope, that's not working.
Are you still in school?
What kind of cement?
I'm actually off on fall break this week. We get the whole week off. But I don't have internet at my house, and my phone doesn't always like to connect to you guys so well. Usually you guys just get my frozen screen and I'm in a weird position. So I just ran down to school today because I'm like, this is right up my alley. So I'm like, oh, I need to be here for the whole thing.
I like the green wall behind you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice.
It used to be a god-awful two-tone blue when I got here. This was my room when I was here in high school. And then I taught 15 years down in the valley, down in Phoenix. And then I came home and got my old art room back. And so now I'm the teacher in it.
That's awesome. So you were a student in that classroom? Wow.
Yep. This is my art room in high school. Yep.
Full
Oh,
circle. Holy
Sink is
cow.
still the same. Kiln is still the same. We just have a lot more color.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
All right. Susan, did you want to share out?
I just made my pages and poked the holes because I got to go back and make the cover stuff. So,
Okay.
um,
How did you find it? Was it easy enough?
yeah, I've done it before. It's just been a while, so it was nice to get a refresher and hear some of
Okay.
your guys' tips for sure.
Oh, great. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Um, sometimes when it's a small group, we can get more done and everybody's, oh, Mom, yes, you wanted to add something?
A question, what kind of glue did the person who just spoke use to glue the two sheets together?
I did, so I do,
Oh, rubber cement.
yep,
So do you
contact cement like you use on a
do
countertop.
2 coat? Did you put 1 coat on each side and then
On both sides, let it dry, and then
Yeah.
it sticks together, and it is
Stick
there and
or-
doesn't go anywhere.
for eternity that way? Yes. You just have to make sure you put it down in the right place, otherwise you're never getting it off again.
Yes.
I
One
totally
thing
remember that.
for this new cover that I'm doing,
Yeah.
I can fold it in on itself and cement it down.
Yes, you could.
So that's what
Absolutely.
I'm doing for now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So this was fun, and I love making these books. I could make these forever. Our next session is going to be on the 2nd, and one of our original alum is going to be running the session for us. She's a friend of mine, Kristen. She's going to be doing a Zen watercolor flora exercise, teaching us how to do just playing with watercolors and watercolor pencils and making lots of fodder, for lack of a better term, to cut out, what do they call that? Something cut, picky cut, or I can't,
Fussy cut,
what is it?
fussy cut.
Fussy cut. Thank you. Thank you. Fussy cut all these things out, and then you can use them to decorate and paste on other things. So she actually did that with us. We went to the Sagamore Summer Institute, and she did that over the summer, and she's going to be running that workshop for Sagamore in New York next summer also.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so she's going to be running that on the 2nd, and then on the 9th of November, we have a miniature weaving project. And if I can find my sample here somewhere. Yes. Another friend of mine from Sagamore and several conferences. She made these tiny little weavings into little scraps of wood. And I kind of did this one based off of her thing. And so she's going to be doing that with us on the 9th. So the next 2 sessions are booked. If anybody knows anybody, or if you would like to volunteer to run a session with something we haven't done yet, please let me know. Have them reach out to me. Somebody's showing up now when we're already over time. Okay. But I'm looking forward to the next 2 sessions because I don't have to do them. I get the night off. But I'll be with you, making along with you. So I will call it an evening. Thank you for joining. And this video should be up by the weekend if you need it. And like and subscribe on YouTube. And I'll see you at the next session.
Where do we find the videos?
Videos are on YouTube.
Okay.
If you search for Nycata, NYCATA UFT, and we have over 50 videos from the last 3 years on the playlist.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks,
night.
regulars, and I'll see you next time.
Good night, my dear.
Good night, Mama.
Talk to you over the weekend.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.